Subscribe right now, or you will eat all your and your mom's apples. Teachers of Reddit, what was the most obvious teacher crush someone had on you? When I was playing Hamlet in the school play, and the girl playing Ophelia got stage fright at the last minute, so the drama teacher had to costume up and sub in for her, on her knees in a low-cut bodice, hanging onto my leg, and screaming, "Oh, help him, you sweet heavens. I got a boner in front of 500 people. Nice." Not a teacher, but this one girl had such a blatantly huge crush on my film studies teacher when we were 15/16. She herself was mixed race and would ask the poor guy if he preferred white chocolate, dark chocolate or caramel. Winker face. Safe to say that was awkward for everyone present in the room. I dislike all of them. In the days of MSN, I got a chat invite from someone who had the same last name as me. I assumed it was a relation, but they didn't say anything, and so I left for a bit to eat. I came back and saw a couple more people had been added to the chat and saw they'd been talking about me. I realized they were students because they referred to me as Miss. They were teasing one of the others for his crush on me, and he was defending my massive ass as hot. I can vouch for that. Massive asses are hot. Well, at the time I figured there was no accounting for a teenager's horniness. I taught pre-K and one student always wanted to hear around me and would pretend to slip up and call me mom. He saw my phone had a screensaver of me and my at the time boyfriend, and he got all mad and said I should break up with him. LOL. Kids are adorable. I doubt he'll remember me in a few years. Working as a substitute teacher, I had a 6th grader hand in a poem that went, "Roses are red, violets are blue, I am single, how about you?" She also worked her phone number into another poem she handed in. "Roses are red, my eyes are blue. Can I have you?" I had a crush on my teacher in high school. After I graduated, I asked him out to lunch with my best friend and me. He agreed. We met up a few days later and he walked in with his husband. That was a rough day for me. NGL, that was a power move though. He knew what you wanted and he knew how to tell you no without any awkward conversation. I was a special needs teacher. There was zero subtlety. One student would constantly try to lift up my skirt. Straight to the point. I see. My second year teaching, we had a brand new teaching assistant in the special needs class who was this very outgoing redhead who was very well endowed in the chest area. One student took an instant like to her and was constantly grabbing her boobs. She wore turtlenecks and sweaters most of the year and a lot of scarves. This kid was relentless. She didn't last the full year. I felt really bad for her. She transferred to the elementary school after spring break. I had a kid ask me to marry him the other day. Then he proceeded to say I would be way too old for him by the time he was old enough to get married. The best day of your life and the worst day of your life. Kids are so cruel with their marriage proposals. I teach at a university and students ask me out. I had a student once ask me out in front of the class while I was teaching, but I think it was more a power move than anything else. Edit. Bonus story. I teach a sexuality class and a student brought up negging. I asked the class for a definition and one dude goes, "You're pretty for a sociologist." The entire class was horrified that he had negged me. Had a teacher in high school who had the same thing happen to her. She looked at the kid and said, "Honey, I teach all day, don't have time to teach at night too." That shut him down pretty quickly. I have a student this year who tells me how pretty my hair is every single day. He's 7. That's actually adorable. LOL. Right? It makes my day. I teach at a local university and I've had a few, including one who used to sketch me during class, one who tried to put his arm around me, etc. The most obvious and persistent was a student who used to follow me after class every day, show up at my office just to talk, and spent all of his time attempting to look down my shirt. He ended up dropping out of college halfway through the semester. Have sketch teachers. Definitely did not have a crush on them though. Have sketch tutors. We were at art college though. A lecturer tried courting a student though. There was like a 6-year age gap, so not creepy, just power dynamic, unfair/unprofessional. My first year teaching high school, the A/V department made an end of the year tape for the students every year as a keepsake. That year they allowed a senior to profess her love to me on the tape. I didn't know she had done this and they had allowed it until it played over their A/V system to the whole school. Needless to say, I was pissed, but I couldn't make too much of a stink because I didn't want a lot of attention drawn to it. And they weren't going to take it out. Fuckers. Wow, that's fucking unprofessional by them. Was it a more serious tape or was it delivered in a joking way? I found it very unprofessional. To be honest, I don't remember if she was half joking or not because I could only focus on the possible ramifications to focus on how she said it. The tape wasn't super serious, but it was something these kids were to keep as a memento, so I'd expect it to be mostly non-fiction. Yeah, I can imagine that. This stuff can end careers. Were there any consequences? No consequences. Amazingly, not even a question from administration of Natotha Blue. What's this about? But yeah, my career could have been over before it even got started. I'm not a teacher, but I do have a story of when I was a HS student. It was my senior year and I had a crush on this young history teacher. He would come on model on trips with us as a chaperone, so he knew who I was. It was my birthday and he heard from a different teacher across the hall. He said happy birthday to me, and my response was thanks, I'm 18. I blurted it out very quickly and realized literally the second it left my mouth how inappropriate it was. His response, well, you can vote now. Kids and teenagers always announce their age on their birthdays. The teacher may not have noticed what you think they noticed. When I find out someone is 18, I always encourage them to register and vote, saying, otherwise, all the taxes you pay will go to old people stuff. I had a student ask me if I was married. Yes. This was followed by, but are you happily married? I started teaching way too young. Edit. Appreciate the silver and gold. I'm glad to have amused you all with my awkward moment. You gotta admire that dedication. Next question. But do you orgasm when you guys have sex? Is he home to you? Do you feel held? I immediately envisioned you as a bearded, socks and sandals wearing, pipe smoking counselor type. Oh buddy, that's not all I envisioned. Wearing just socks and sandals. I taught preschool and the owner's grandson would tell everyone we were going to get married once he was done with first grade. He even gave me mittens with hearts on them because hearts are for love. He's in middle school now and doesn't remember me. Woman with medium light skin tone shrugging. I teach preschool too. It was my last day at a school because I was moving. One of the 4-year-olds announced to everyone that he knew where I was moving. When asked, he explained that Miss Pumpkin Pasties was moving in with him as we were getting married. News to me. That's a power move that can't possibly go wrong. That's quite precious. The one that got away. When I left my computer unlocked and a student put naked pictures of herself as my wallpaper and a post-it with her number. Holy fuck. Let's just lace his computer with child porn in public view. Jesus. Could have been a bully though actually. That was my initial thought as something like that had happened before to another student. But she was one of the cool girls and owned up to it straight away and was as cool as ice about it. Yo, that girl fucks teachers. Or tries to. Bit of a different one this. Parents' evening, single mum comes in to talk about her son. Her youngest daughter, probably about 4, runs in, jumps on my knee and exclaims, my mummy says you're going to be our new daddy. Longest parents' evening of my life. Face with tears of joy. How did the mom react to this? She actually handled it really well. Just came out with something along the lines of, oh isn't she silly? Obviously I just tried my best to ignore it and get through the appointment as quickly as possible. Face with tears of joy. I was 24 at the time and the only male teacher in the school, and the first in several years, so I was fairly experienced when it came to dealing with comments made by students. But this one threw me right off. Face with tears of joy. A student who had a crush on me wrote a straightforward proposition and asked another teacher to deliver it to me. This teacher was a mentor of sorts to the student, so you'd think he'd do something wiser and more responsible than what he actually did, which was deliver the note and threaten me with some form of unspecified violence if I told anyone. So I informed the principal, and both the student and teacher were transferred to other schools. Not a teacher but used to be a Cub Scout guide. One of our boys, 10 yo, had a crush on my adjutant, 16 yo girl. He swore she will be his girlfriend one day, and was strangely serious about it. We laughed it off, and forgot about it. Years went by, the boy became a man, joined the army, came back, went to medical university, got buff and handsome, and reached out to his old crush on Facebook. They got married last May, and have a baby girl. Damn that ending though. Don't let your dreams become dreams. My older bros friend proposed to our 60+ teacher every day. She always laughed about it. Cue the entire football team picking up on this and proposing to her before every game. For about 3 years. Cue. Though the team may have queued up on cue. starting teaching high school English at 21 in the early 90s. Very religious. Student wrote me an anonymous letter explaining that she believed that God had put her in my class because we were meant to be together. Figured it out by handwriting. Reported it. It was last days of the school year before she graduated, so I don't think I ever had to deal with her being in my class again because of finals or something. Not a teacher, but I had a crush on a lunch lady while I was in the first grade, and I would always say, "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking?" She knew what was up. Did you get extra slop in the chow line? I was always allowed to go up for sloppy seconds. I swear the first year I was teaching I passed 2 students in the hall and the one said, "That's the new teacher," and his friend said, "Yeah, he's so hot." Edit. For anyone confused, student 1 was a guy, and the student who said I was hot was a girl. I am a guy. The one where she kept staring at me in class and invited me to her birthday party and we had sex that night. I teach languages to adults, by the way. I read this and was like, whoa okay. Teach English in China. The girls will literally say, "I have a crush on you." This happened to me when Chinese exchange students visited my school. They're very straightforward.
Like and subscribe for more daily fresh new videos. Thanks for watching.